Good morning, everybody. James Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy, as you all know. Just becomes a habit to say that now. Um, so to the Java family, I announced yesterday that I was going to take a break today, that there would not be a show this morning. However, I did not know that WGBH the Boston Globe would be dropping a article that informed us that WGBH had laid off 4% of its working of its employees, 31 employees, and with also the notification that Greater Boston Talking Politics and Basic Black were being I don't want to say, I don't think the article said canceled, but they're not going to be in existence as we know them now as television shows. And so with all of that being said, I got quite a few, hey, most of them were, did you see this? Do you know? And some were, hey, are you good? So I need to clarify for the Java family, the public supporters, um, where things are. So, first of all, as you remember, 4 years ago, because we shared information and curated conversations with elected officials and had interviews, this platform took on a persona of media and journalism. And for those of you that have been with me from the very beginning, and until this day, and even more so today, uh, don't ascribe to being a journalist. By nature of being on social media, I am in media, and so are many of you. With that being said, I am not a journalist. I am not an employee of WGBH. And so I wanted to let folks know generally, answered a few individuals' questions and gave them some clarity. To be very, very honest and transparent, those of you that know me and watch over the past few weeks, I've been alluding to there have been some changes. And so I am going to, as quickly as possible, share with you a couple of things. One is in I want to say February of maybe summer of 22. Evelyn Brito, who was an employee at GBH, reached out. Hey, we see what you're doing. I really have an idea to bring you to GBH. Long story short, did the first broadcast at GBH in June of 2023. 10 months. You all saw what we did and was able to help GBH expand its reach to a different type of audience to you all. There was some impact of me reaching some of their audience, being stopped in Whole Foods by rabbis and just senior women that have been donating to GBH for 35 years or 30 years or whatever. And they're so glad to see. And the woman did say, "You're a type." No, she said, "You're kind." And I know what she meant. So great to see you're kind or type on GBH. So anyway, 10 months did that. Going to give you some context to give very fair, valid context or reasoning to something that GBH and I began to realize that me being a community voice and they being a public media, full legacy major media outlet in 2021, some of you know, and again now, I also separately have a podcast that is political. And in fairness to them, I'm not going to name who they are. I have no problem with it, but just so that is a paid gig. I'm a 1099er. I'm an entrepreneur. I also believe in this political related podcast is something that I personally believe in that was very much informed by so you know what I did an interview about this on BUR, so I can say it here. I am in partnership with rideshare companies to do a podcast called My Miles, My Story. Um, a press release went out, and a news outlet here in the city, two individuals framed that article, and some of you may have seen it, framed that article in a manner that basically said Java with Jimmy it wasn't the exact words, but Java with Jimmy is being bought by corporations. And so that a press release went out, WGBH's press. They were informed of that, them being a public media outlet, very much valid. Hey, though not a journalist, you're on our air and you can't, you know, be employed by a political ballot sort of initiative and be on air as a journalist. So that began a conversation. And so this is what, in relationship to what people may think I was impacted by the layoffs, no. But we were in conversation about all the great things that happened during the 10 months. I have to give a shout out to Annie Scheffler, Lee Hill, Pam Johnson, and also the Chris and Howard and Maddie, and I'm forgetting names, and if the team is on, it can remind me. But 10 months, we did a lot of great work. One of my guests, I was informed that it was the most exposure that they had on social media from a reel that they did. We did a lot of great work, but we began to realize that they had journalistic standards, not even standards, journalistic restrictions that that entity was trying to impose on me. And y'all know me. And so we are on pause. They are examining how they incorporate the community voice piece without those restrictions, because a lot of the impactful community voices are not journalists and would find it very interesting to abide by the restrictions that come with in the environment of journalism. So that's really all I had to say this morning. That's where things are. We are in such a great space in the next couple of weeks. Actually, next week, I have the opportunity to do some testing at the studio with all the cameras. And so I just actually, hopefully logistically this works out, but we will probably have some sort of open invitation to come to a live recording with an audience and all that. Hopefully somewhere around Juneteenth. So that's really where things are. I am going to let me just check the comments. It's 9:13. Let me go in here for 2 minutes. Okay, folks. Okay, so we're pretty good. Yeah, that I see. Uncle Thaddeus is in the room. Basic Black, I believe, is that were a few people were like, yo. And for those of you that remember, Basic Black is a more updated iteration of Say Brother. This is why it's imperative that community, BIPOC, Black and Brown, women led, marginalized, impacted community voices be supported. I'm going to go ahead and say this: liked, shared. In this world, those are significant. Ask anyone that moves in this space. And so it's also important that when Black and Brown people have stories and want to get information out there, and y'all know I like to, that's just me. I like to break stuff. But in all seriousness, no one's going to tell those stories like us. So it is 9:14. I am not going any longer than 9:15. I appreciate everybody that's in the room on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Thank you all for coming in with last minute notice. I would not be my authentic self if I did not just say this. During the conversation about pause, I shared with a few folks, um, kind of what was going on. Some details, a lot of the details, with a few details, some surface. And I know that I did that. Over in any other spaces, I don't know if anyone vented or whatever. I'm going to say this very simply. I'm aware that there was an attempt to create a narrative about this that was, in fact, pure lies. And so, in the words of my father, Bishop Bernard and Bragg, let me just kill a devil. And text with producer GBH just a few minutes ago. Relationships are fine. I have shared with them very authentically the impact of the process of taking a community voice through a journalistic sort of contracting process. They are very much aware of that impact. But right now, from my understanding, after they look at things and they're dealing with a lot there. And I gotta just hold space for a minute. So anyway, I will hold space for a minute for the human impact that's going on relationships. I mean, when I went through my pause, I'm hitting my producer like, what about, we would just get ready to go do stuff and all of this. So, there is a human impact. So please, keep the families and those impacted and all of them over at GBH in your thoughts and prayers. I'll finish with where I started. There was an attempt to create a narrative that was a lie. About 99.9% sure of a couple of who you are. And just know that I've covered you on many occasions when people have wanted to rip you to shreds. And I've been the one that has said, hey, no, their motive is pure, they move different, da 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 da. So, with that being said, your attempt is now foiled. I made my update, and we're going to move on and keep percolating, keep coming to the Java Cafe every Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. That may be changing soon. Y'all remember a few months ago we did 10 and 12. I've been looking at that. So anyway, last thing, as you all can tell, I'm out of town. I have to give a shout out to my friend, my sister, a mentor, an advisor, a getter at me. Miss Nia Grace opened Grace by Nia at Foxwoods last night. And let me tell you, make your way down here. Make your way down here. All right. Also, we'll be making some announcements in relationship to a residency soon. So yes, we are going to get off of here. It is 9:18. UCB, you can get 30 minutes today. I love all of you. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being part of the Java family for the last 4 years. Um, Once again, we're getting ready to come up on the busy. Last year, I said it was the busiest month of my life. I'm realizing that June is now becoming the busiest month of the year. We got a lot of things getting ready to happen, and I really believe that we have, we are exhausting levels, and it's time for us to get ready to go to the next dimension of the Java Cafe. And so, um, I've always been honest that what you all see today, a huge part of it is from me making huge, dumb, big mistakes and falling flat on my face. Please know that some of that has happened in the last 4 years, and that's why we're learning and still growing. So that doesn't change. I just try not to make as many mistakes and um, not be as petty. So with that being said, I'm getting ready to get off of here. Appreciate all of you. Not in the thank you, real. Not in the comments today, y'all. I really got to get ready to go have breakfast. And again, appreciate all of you for the support. Um, and we'll see you guys tonight. There's another Java with Jimmy. There's a Java with Jimmy After Dark tonight with Kareen Reynolds, who is the director of nightlife for the city of Boston. And Real knows about this. Over the last couple of days, I made a great major connection with a major nightlife influencer and just talking about some stuff. So percolating. That's what we do here in the Java Cafe. We keep it percolating. Shout out to the Davis system and Anissa that has to deal with my texts and hold me down and my ideas. And yes. And again, Annie, Lee, Pam, Howard, Chris, Maddie, all the folks over, Sandra, Evelyn, all the folks over at GBH. There's a lot for y'all to do. And that's a public service media outlet. And so respect for you all being in that place. And we hold y'all up and send y'all strength as there. And that article did talk about some digitization of some programming there. And so we'll just see. I often put on my post, stay tuned. And so we don't know what tomorrow holds. So just know that the past year, sitting at that desk at GBH, has been amazing. That sort of quote unquote last episode with Courtney Boston, dope. So I'm getting off of here. We'll see you guys. Miss T, I see you in the room. Tonight, 7 p.m., Kareen Reynolds, director of nightlife for the city of Boston. We're going to check in with her about what she's doing for the city of Boston. And to Lasagna's point, we know who holds tomorrow. Love you too, Lasagna. All right, I'm not going to get into start comments and I'm going to get in trouble. So that's it for me, everyone. Nothing major, no drama. Just to update directly from the horse's mouth. Have a great day, everybody. Love y'all. Peace.